At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. That's why we've just launched our new multi-car cover. One policy and one renewal date means it's one simple way for you to save on your family's cars. So just imagine how much you can save by insuring 2, 3, or even more cars with us. To get your exclusive multi-car discount from the Which Insurance Provider of the Year 2017, go direct to lv.com. T's and C's apply.
It's only audio?
Yes, audio.
Yeah, it's a podcast? Okay, perfect. So I can relax. Yes. Can take my makeup away.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your host, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Here we go.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 623. Happy New Year to everybody, all the listeners around the world. This is your host, Danny. And also we have the whole Gamertag Radio crew. Great way to start the new year. Let's go with Paris.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. What's going on?
What's going on, man? How was your holidays, man? Your vacation?
No, it was good. It was good. Celebrated 20 years of married bliss with my wife at the end of the year.
That's awesome.
And that was sarcasm saying bliss, but no, actually I let my wife was good. No, did that. And just stay low key. Stay low key with the kids. I picked up a new hobby during the break, and now I have a new obsession: flying drones.
Flying drones.
Yeah, we got my son a drone for Christmas. And I think I was flying the damn thing more than even he was. But
and this one is the video stuff.
Well, yeah, but this is like a toy model. This is look at me, like I'm an expert now. I'm like, oh, this is just a toy model. But no, we got a smaller drone. Yeah, it has like a 720p camera on it. We're just flying around a little bit, but we're about to step our game up. We're about to go to the big league. So I believe it's going to get here February 2nd, but we're going to get a Phantom 3. Just to kind of start off, that's one of the more higher end drones, and learn how to do that. And I'm gonna do some mods to it. I mean, with the mod, I should be able to get like a few mile range with it and all that. And then I'm gonna do that. And then by the end of the year, I'm gonna step up to one of the really big boys that you could fly for like 4 or 5 miles at a time. Crazy stuff like that. So yeah, that was my Christmas break. I didn't play any games, by the way. I played Battlefield 1. Because I was reviewing the G533 from Logitech.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I played that because they supplied me a PC code. So I played it on the PC just so I could test out the sound and everything. And other than that, I did not pick up a controller or a keyboard to play any video games. And I actually started playing The Witcher 3 2 days ago. And that's been the most of my gaming this whole time we've been off.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Timefall. A lot of I started playing also Final Fantasy 15. Started playing that too. So true story. The first time I started playing, I fell asleep. Like I found it really bored of the whole game. And then I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance. Maybe because I was just tired. And I played it again, and I'm liking it. I'm pretty far in the game now, man. So really, really cool. And also joining us, Pete.
What up? I'm back.
You're back. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, the whole nine.
Yeah, how was your holidays?
Not as exciting as Paris's and his, if you watch his videos, hopefully you take a lot more practice because that first video where you took a header, Paris, with yours.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I'm pro now. I know what I'm doing now. It's all good. But, yeah, that was like literally the first time I flew it, and yeah, we crashed it. Oh, I can tell this story really quick, and I'm sorry, Pete, I'm taking your segment, but my son, I know I'm not sorry, but my son, like one of the first times he flew it, we're flying it over his school, and the drone had what's called a flyaway, where you can no longer control it. And that son of a gun took off and flew off into a neighborhood. And luckily we still had the camera, because like you can watch it on your phone. Like that's how you fly it in first person view. And we could see it flying, and it landed on someone's roof, like off in a neighborhood somewhere. And then luckily we saw that, we got control of it again, and then it fell off the roof and fell into a bush in someone's front yard. And oh my God, my son panicked. He like literally just started crying. He wouldn't run. I was like, dude, run. We got to go get it. He just started crying. It's so funny. But no, he's a pro now. And yeah, we know what we're doing now. It's
it takes a little bit of time. I got my son one back in October for his birthday. And I could definitely see how that becomes an obsession, because that's especially with the short battery life that the smaller ones carry. They're only like 5 to 7 hours of flight time.
Minutes.
So like you're like waiting for that charge. You're like, all right, it's been charging for 10 minutes. You think we can go? All right, let's give it a few more minutes. And like it becomes. I can definitely see how it becomes an obsession. It hasn't gone as crazy with my son and myself, but yeah, it's definitely every time he comes over, I'm like, hey, bring your drone.
But you should hit up Neil, the filmmaker of The Messengers. He has a really expensive drone.
Yeah, he's got the.
You talk to him more, man.
Before, right?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
No, I
don't know much about that stuff.
I already hit him up.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know, man. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it/gamertag. Listen to our past episodes. We're there. And also, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and other podcast directories.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
So remember, this week is the big week from Nintendo, their official press conference of the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be watching this live all the way from Japan. It's the press conference. For those that are in different parts of the world, it's going to be 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. here, the East Coast, on January 12th. Also 4 a.m. the UK, 5 a.m. in Europe on January 13th. I'm really excited, and I'm very curious to see what Nintendo's plan about their console, their games, price, which I think is going to be cheap, in my opinion, the console. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting, man. So, Pete, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Pete.
Go ahead.
No, my question is, what is it that you would like to see during the press conference, like things that Nintendo should announce to make this press conference successful? I mean, to me, I don't care much about the whole power thing, because I know it's not going to be as powerful as like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but I think Nintendo should just announce the right games and announce the right price to make this successful, I think.
I've spent the last couple of days pretty much deep diving into the Nintendo Switch to see if this is something I want to go into, if I want to invest myself into. Over the last day or two, there's been a couple of rumor/leaks, and it depends on how you want to read into them. And again, these are rumors, these are speculations, these are not founded in truth or fact. These are just things that people have determined or seen or read into, and that's pretty much what I'm basing my discussion on it. Over at Shack News, they found an article from GameSeek, which is a UK retailer, and their price rumor has it at £198, or if you want to translate that to US dollars, it's about $245. They also have, and this is all based on they I guess they leaked similar to what GameSpot has done, or One has done over in or what is, I think it's Game is the online retailer over there in the UK. They put that up on their website. So that right now is the current rumor du jour for the Nintendo Switch. So £200 or $250 here in the States, which sounds about right, considering it's new equipment from Nintendo trying to grab that market. The site also says that they're looking at a mid-March release date, which pretty much coincides with a potential Breath of the Wild launch release rumor of being March-ish. So
Well, I heard that one got delayed to summer.
Right. That was the initial one. But and who knows? Again, rumors, right? That's all they are at the end of the day until we get something definitive from Nintendo. And during that press conference, that's what I'd like to see most. Put these things to rest, give us a definitive date and cost. And cost is more secondary, but give me a date. Let me know, okay, when you're expecting to put this on shelves. I'm not expecting it to stay on shelves long. I'm expecting the same thing that Nintendo Classic did, where you can't find it anywhere. Thankfully, it's not the Christmas holiday break, so I'm not going to have a lot of expectations from my daughter or whatever from the house. But I do believe that it's in their best interest to just give the public what they want. Give us a date and then when we can expect to see this in the stores, because that's you won't. That's the best way to drive up demand for the product, is to give people an exact date. Right now, people are all speculating and questioning and wondering, is it even coming to market? When's it coming to market? When's it coming? Put it in the stores. Give us a date when it's coming, and let us make a determination on that.
Yeah, not only that, like I know they're going to have a lot of like first party exclusives, but now that they're also going to be working with a lot of third party companies, show me exclusive third party games too. It could be timed, it could be just exclusive only for the console. Show me that too, because in the past you get to see a lot of these third party companies working with Nintendo, and then they stop making these games because it's failed, or people just don't buy it, so they don't buy the games and stuff.
So do you remember the game Warriors from Koei Tecmo?
Yeah, I remember Warriors.
So there's another rumor, and this one's coming from Laura Dale and Obi-Wan on YouTube. I don't know if you remember or know who Obi-Wan is. He's the one that came up on YouTube a couple of months ago with a Switch in his hand.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. But that one was more of, I think it was like 3D printing. Somebody just made it.
Right. Over the last couple of months, there's been a couple of websites or YouTube channels. Obviously, Laura Dale is probably the most popular or the most well-known. But then you have others, I think Spawn Wave and Obi-Wan, who've been going back and forth, and they're pretty much the bigger Switch YouTube leakers, I guess is the new title for people. But they're talking about that there's a Nintendo-themed Warriors game from Koei Tecmo also in the works. So that answers your third-party Nintendo exclusive. And again, it's speculation. We're all guessing, hoping, and dreaming of what's coming out. I'd love to see something along the veins of Overwatch come out, but I don't think that Overwatch is the right venue or the right title for a Switch. I just don't think it's, especially being a fast twitch response first person shooter type game. I don't see it something that you could play remotely, and I think you'd be at a disadvantage having to deal with lag as a result of playing, whether it's remote or wirelessly, etc. But
well, I hope they announce finally the whole Beyond Good and Evil rumor. Let's see if that's true. But Paris, I know you're there too, so tell us your thoughts about the whole Nintendo Switch press conference. Any predictions, anything that you would like to see to make this press conference successful?
Well, I think first and foremost, the biggest thing is going to be the price. What is that price going to be? I know Pete was talking about some of the speculation on that. I think anything $250 or lower is going to be a huge hit for them. I do disagree with this being another NES Classic situation where we're not going to be able to find it anywhere. They simply cannot do that. They can't. If this thing is just in such limited supply, you already have a lot of skeptical consumers as it is. And if I have to go out of my way to try and get this thing, then I'm just going to not get it. I'll go do something else. I'll go get something else. It isn't. Nintendo's going to have to literally wow us on January 12th and show us just a vast library of games that are coming early on in the system life to get people excited. I mean, there's the speculation. Is Zelda going to be there at launch? Is it going to be in June or whatever? Now it's leaning more towards it's going to be there at launch. So you need to show us Zelda. You need to give us a release date on it. It needs to be if not on launch day, it needs to be quickly after that. We need a Mario game, maybe a Mario Kart. We're going to need, just some other type of genres in there. And we don't just give me an easy port of Splatoon. If you're going to give me a new Splatoon. Have it early in the launch window. Let me know when Metroid coming. Let me know when Donkey Kong's coming, etc. We need the big heavy hitters for Nintendo needs to be there early in the life cycle for this thing. And like I said, it needs to be at an easy price, or not an easy price, at a lower price than the competition. And this whole it being mobile, then you could take it anywhere with you and all that, better have good battery life. 3 hours or less, and it's not really a mobile device, in my opinion.
So what do you think of the potential of it having an increased charge time, taking advantage of the USB-C, USB, yeah, it is USB-C, and fast charge? So, like, that's another rumor that's been speculating across the rumor mill for Nintendo Switch, is that it would be able to take advantage of a potential 30-minute charge time.
It's good. I hope so. I mean, look, we know technology is to the point where we should have fast charge times on devices like this. So we better see that, regardless of how long the battery actually lasts, it should have a quick charge time. And if the battery is going to be lower, then it's going to be a necessity that it has quick charge, to keep people on the go. I mean, because it's obviously this thing isn't going to have swappable batteries, right? So you're going to be dependent on, especially if you're a commuter, that you're able to quickly recharge this device, so that if you're on the train, the bus, etc., you can continue whatever it is that you're doing. And obviously, when it's in the dock and you're playing on television, that thing better be charging while you're playing, or that just wouldn't make sense at all. But I mean, overall, I'm excited. I mean, I'm very excited and very curious to see what the Switch is going to be, to see what Nintendo's approach is going to be on the 12th. Is Nintendo going to keep their products more on the toy side, or are they going to try and not necessarily straight up compete with Sony and Microsoft, but at least say, hey, this is a viable option? We may not be doing 4K 60 frames per second with our games, but we're still the best developer in the world. And this is the only place that you can play these games. And we're now giving you the option to either play it on your television at home, or you can take it on the go wherever you want. So, one other thing.
Yeah.
I think another key thing is, how are they going to handle online? I mean, obviously they've shown off that they're going to have heavy local, not LAN, but local play support, like they showed in the demo, where you could have the multiple switches and controllers and you can play in a local setting. But are they going to actually embrace online gaming with the Switch? That'll be another game. Like, personally, I don't need it either way, but I'm just curious to see if they're going to do that.
Paris, one of the things too, that if you remember watching the video promo, the big announcement about the Switch, there was a lot of different type of gamers playing the system on that video. They had like the pro teams for esports. They have like the whole hardcore gamers and also the casual. So I think this system is going to be for everybody. It's not just the casual side or little kids, like this is going to be for everyone. And if they do it like that, I think the system will become successful based on the price, the games, and how they market this. In the past, it was very confusing how they used to promote the original Wii and also the Wii U, especially the Wii U with that name. That kind of killed the whole marketing side for that console. So, but I'm excited too, man. I'm super excited. But now, if this system is, let's say, 4-hour battery life, maybe 5 hours, is that okay for you guys?
I think 4 is acceptable. Anything above 4 is pretty good, especially like Pete was saying. If there's a quick charge, 4 hours can get you from point A to point B, and you're not going to have to interrupt your gaming experience, right? Anything over 4 hours, you're on a plane going to freaking France or something, right? So that's okay. 3 hours barely gets me on a plane from San Diego to Dallas. You know what I mean? So that's where it gets sketchy. Were you charging it the whole time while you're playing? You know, all that comes into play. So then you have to actually be mindful of your battery life. And that's the point. I don't want to have to think about the battery while I'm playing mobile, you know, unless it's in an extreme condition where, yeah, I'm on a plane or something, and then I know I can't recharge it while I'm on the plane unless I got a portable charger with me or something. But 4 hours, that's going to get any person through their daily commute and through their lunchtime to be able to play the game.
And I'm kind of like, not how I say this. Like, I'm kind of confused about the whole battery thing, because we know that they need that for the tablet, for the screen and everything, right? But what about the controllers? Is that battery too? Is that going to be like, how's that going to work?
Has to be, right?
Yeah. So, but now if it's connected, is the screen is charging the controllers when it's connected? Like, I'm just very curious about that whole thing. So that means if it's charging the controller, then they're using more battery life. So maybe it's going to be less than 3 hours. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see
I think you're taking into consideration that when you pull off those, what are this, Switch cons or whatever, or Joy-Cons, I think is what they were calling them. I'm trying to remember the name. But when you disconnect those from the physical tablet or from the physical game device, they're no longer, you know, whatever battery life you have in those little things is going to have to suffice. So if you're talking 3 or 4 hour game time or, you know, battery life, does that include with those things disconnected or connected while it's charging those things? What happens if you play for a little bit and then you put those back on to go back into a single player mode, right? Now you're charging those little controllers, taking away power or game time experience from being on the Switch. So it's going to take a lot. It's, again, those are things that they need to discuss and let us know during this announcement on the 12th, because I mean, if it's going to be 3 hours or less and they don't have charge time, I don't know. I think they're going back. I think they're almost going backwards again from a technological standpoint.
Well, we'll see. We'll see on the 12th. But very quick, the Nintendo also going to be having a Treehouse live stream on January 13th. They're going to be showing off some of the games that was announced that's going to be announced for the Switch and stuff. So that's the next day. So on January 13th, they're going to have a hands-on event in New York City and also somewhere in Europe and the UK and all that. So I'll keep you posted if there's any news on that. So, but we have an exclusive for this week. This is a part 2 of our podcast exclusive, all the way from Paris, France. So, Pete and Paris, you want to introduce this new audio you guys have?
Sure. This one was recorded at that same opportunity in Europe, in Paris, France, when we were invited out by Ubisoft to go check out Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. So in this interview, we had an opportunity to speak with the audio director, Ghislain Soufflet, the music supervisor, Manu Bachet, and we have a very, very special guest, podcast exclusive once again here. We have Alain Johannes from Queens of the Stone Age. He is the soundtrack composer and producer for the game. He's a Grammy-nominated, Grammy-winning musician, composer, producer, engineer. He's performed, engineered, and produced a handful of the Queens of the Stone Age albums. If you're not familiar with them, I suggest you look them up on YouTube or Google Play or Apple Music. Phenomenal rock music band. But in this one, we talk about audio direction, how they came up with, and then at the end, I highly suggest you stick around. There's a little piece de résistance. I just say, just jump into it. Let the listeners take a gander at what we had an opportunity to check out and listen to these guys.
All right, so let's play it right now, and once we come back, we're going to talk more about that into. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Back on the scene.
This is Gamertag Radio.
This is a Gamertag Radio exclusive.
All right, this is Peter and Paris. We're here at Ubisoft Paris, and we are here with the audio folks for Ghost Recon Wildlands. Please, before we start, give us an introduction, your name and your title.
So I'm Ghislain Soufflet. I'm the audio director for Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I'm Manu Bachet. I'm the music supervisor for Ghost Recon Wildlands.
My name is Alain Johannes. I'm the composer for Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Excellent. Thank you. What has your experience been like working on Ghost Recon as a whole, as a legendary title in the shooter space?
Well, it's been kind of a marker for us at Ubisoft Paris because when we started working on Ghost Recon, it was on Advanced Warfighter. The first one, and it was the first time that we had such a huge franchise here at the studio, and so the budget that came with it allowed us to record some orchestral music, like went to Seattle recording a real orchestra. The music was composed by Tom Salta at the time, so it was a first for us. And this very game that we're working on right now, it's a first for us as well because it's the first time that we use this method, which is new for us, of composing and improvising in front of the game. That's something that we had never done, and it's been a great experience so far.
Thank you. So, in having played the game first at E3 and then sitting here listening to you gentlemen this afternoon, the breadth of the dynamic audio present in the game has been phenomenal. Can you describe the process of how you guys captured audio for the game?
Yeah, sure. In fact, we went to Bolivia, and most of the ambient sounds that you hear in the games were really recorded live there. In fact, we recorded some sounds that are in the game, and we recorded some other sounds like the Witch's Market and everything there that we have recreated for you, in fact, in the game. So it's really realistic. And when it comes to the guns, they sound huge. They sound huge because of the environment also.
Yeah, can you actually go in that a little detail more, because the demonstration that you gave us with the weapons, and obviously when we're talking about sound in a game, weapon sound is going to be very critical. You were showing off, just depending on where you were in the environment, the different sounds that we're getting from the same exact weapon. So why is that so important in this game?
It's really important because we wanted the gun to be really integrated to the landscape, and we wanted the landscape to be like the resonant chamber for the guns. So the system of dynamic echo we created for the gun is really allowing that feature, in fact.
Okay. Now, again, at the top, when you gave us the demonstration earlier, like you've already talked about some of the ambient sounds, you talked about the weapons, but you also talked about the radio as well. So, and I hope I'm not butchering his name, but DJ Perico?
DJ Perico.
Yeah. Why is he so important in the game, and what is the DJ along with the radio providing in the environment?
DJ Perico is really important because he's the official image of the Santa Blanca. In fact, for all the Bolivian people, radio is really important in Bolivia. So everybody is listening to him, and is really important for that, in fact.
Okay. Alan, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
There's an I in there, but we completely ignored it.
Yeah. So talk about, how did you get involved with this project?
Well, they reached out to me, and immediately, without even knowing exactly what it was going to be, I just had a great feeling, and I said yes, I'm so excited to be part of something where I could be involved in composing for a video game. And then once we got to working on in the beginning phase, it just became really clear that Ghislain and Manu and I were going to be a great team. Just the way that we, the great kind of like them setting up the clear and yet at the same time open and free method that we were going to, approach we were going to take. So in the beginning, it was just basically about kind of pinning down the elements of the instrumentation and how that would work well for the the living environment. And so cigar box guitar, charango, other things. And then when it finally came time to go ahead and do it, they said, well, okay, we're going to come over and we're just going to do it in 9 days, all of it, and you're going to watch gameplay and you're going to react to it and you're going to improvise to that, and then with their guidance, and then very often giving me a little bit of a head start with some reference tracks that would be inspiring, but not necessarily it wasn't never about copying that, just kind of getting a feeling as to why there are elements there that would work. So for the first 4 days we spent at my studio in Los Angeles called 11AD, which is just a house with 600 instruments and tape machines and God knows what. I can't even. It's unbelievable how much stuff I've been collecting since I was a kid. And so we had big screens, and I was set up in a circle, and we just went for 4 days and got a bunch of the stuff that's a little more fragile, a little more involving hand drums, percussion, cigar box, nylon string, electric guitar, improvising to, with a little bit kind of a homage of the feeling of the way that Neil Young was, composing to in Dead Man, and then we moved on to a bigger studio to accommodate the fact that, 3 of my friends were going to join us, 2 of them being drummers, so they massive drum sets, Nick Oliveri on bass, Joey Castillo, Norm Block on drums, and me on electric guitar, all of us in the room together, again, watching gameplay. And then now it was about the chases and the stealth approach and the combat, so we just kept recording for 5 days, and in the end came up with all this amazing stuff,
Okay, so you had mentioned in the presentation, I think I had asked you, and for our listeners, is this your first time working on a video game?
Yes, definitely.
And how has that experience been like, as opposed to doing session work or concert type stuff?
To me, it's immediately at the top of the list of one of my favorite things I've ever done, if not the top. It required every single experience I've ever had, every musical muscle I've ever developed to be utilized, and also the ability to not overthink things. I love improvisation, and so there's so much trust we all gave to the process. And of course, there's a little bit of nerves here and there, because you're before you start, but then once we started, it just kept flowing and moving. And that was just everything I hoped it would be. And I know it's a very rare experience and a very rare opportunity. And it doesn't happen every day. It's just, so I was really stoked. I was just like, okay, this is, especially now, after so many years of making records and producing bands, and this really is like the culmination of everything, in terms of the final music, the way that it works so amazingly with the game, and it's also really cool, interesting music to listen to as well as to have in the game to play to,
No, absolutely. And I hate to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I know you did this earlier, but would you, since I see it sitting here, you have a cigar box guitar, would you mind playing a quick demo so people listening can actually hear the sound?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so this is a cigar box guitar. So it's basically the body is an actual cigar box, right? And it has 8 strings, but it's not like a mandolin. It's tuned like a guitar in 4. So you would just do your basic bar chord there, and it's in C. So it's C, F, B flat, E flat. That's the technical side of it. Okay, so.
very much for that. And for everyone listening, that is some of the music that you expect to hear in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which will be coming out on March 7th, 2017. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back on the scene.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, nice little performance at the end, guys. I like that. That was really, really cool, man. And how was the whole vibe with us? Sitting down and talking to all of them during this interview.
I had a blast. Being a former musician, having played guitar and all of that, I thought it was a special treat for me, just because I always just watching and listening to a guitarist play and just go into the zone and just go. For me, was very, very special. Shout out to Paris for just on the spot to say, hey, would you mind just playing a little? I thought that was a nice little touch.
That was really, really cool. What made you at the moment, Paris? How that happened? It just came up like, you know what?
Oh well. Again, it's like you say all the time, man. You just go with the flow. You feel the vibe. You just feel the vibe that's going on in the room. I mean, we're sitting there, just talking. It was a great conversation, and you could just tell that he was very into doing this music for the game. He had the cigar box guitar right there. Yeah. He had it right there. So I'm like, hey, you won't play? And he was like, absolutely. He got excited. He was happy that someone asked him to play. So yeah, it was good.
But overall, I like you guys been recorded some great interviews during this trip, man. So that's awesome, man. So, and I believe we have more in the future.
Yes. We definitely have more.
Yes, stay tuned. Podcast exclusive. All right, so Mass Effect Andromeda release date March 21st of this year. Your thoughts?
I pre-ordered it on Amazon the second I saw the release date.
Wow.
And I got the PC version, by the way.
The PC version. Okay. P, are you planning to get this too, or what?
I think so, but I think I'm gonna jump a month early into EA Access because it has been announced that you can get EA Access with this. So for a $5 a month and a 10% discount when you buy it online early, you can actually get it 5 days earlier and play it.
So let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is to Pete. So you're going to get EA Access. So are you doing it for Xbox or are you doing this for PC?
Well, because it's on EA Access, I don't think EA Access translates down to the Xbox store for PC. So I may end up doing that simply because of the multiplayer component. I've been talking to a couple of friends and they're all looking forward to doing it. So I may end up dumbing down to Xbox.
Wow, he said dumbing down. You hear that? Everyone that has an Xbox.
So cool.
Pete said going to that is dumbing down.
And I'm going to explain why I said dumbing down, because as has been normal with the Xbox One, they are going to be doing 900p 30 frames per second on the Xbox One, Xbox One S, as opposed to 1080p 30 frames per second on PS4 and PC. So I'm considering it. I'm not 100% sold on it, but I might do that.
So I can't even talk. But the reason that I decided to go with the PC. The multiplayer is the multiplayer. I never got really heavy into it on Mass Effect 3, so that's not the attraction for me.
Right.
But was the fact that, at the NVIDIA CES keynote when EA was on stage showing off that 2-minute demo gameplay, is that they had it running on a 1080 and it's going to be in 4K HDR on the PC, because I was kind of halfway thinking, do I get it on the PlayStation 4 Pro? But the fact that the PC will be supporting HDR, I'm just going PC. Why not? It's obviously the most powerful piece of hardware I have in my home anyway, so I might as well just play it on the PC. So that's what I'm going to do. And just so people know, the reason I pre-ordered it on Amazon is I did not pre-order a digital copy. I pre-ordered a physical copy because I have Amazon Prime, so I get a 20% discount, which knocked it down to $47, plus they guaranteed release day delivery. So yeah, I won't be able to play it at midnight, but I'll get it that afternoon. So it's good enough for me. And I saved $20.
Okay. All right. I'm probably going to do the same, man.
Not bad.
Through Amazon Prime.
Not bad.
Yeah. By the way, this year it's all about Scorpio, and I had a great conversation with Paris the other day.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. I will not talk about that on air.
What?
I'm kidding.
I'm about to say, Paris. I think it's time for us to talk about that conversation.
I'm glad you brought this up because I've got stuff I want to talk about as well. So,
ooh, interesting. All right, I guess this is going to be a Scorpio segment.
Scorpions.
So, who would like to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So since Danny put me on Front Street and put our private conversations out here for the public consumption, here's all jokes aside. Here's what it was. Aaron Greenberg on January 1st tweets out, Happy New Year. This is the year of Project Scorpio or the Beast or so, however he phrased it. And, just an innocent little tweet, obviously, competition, whatever, he's excited about it. But I started thinking about it. I go between what he's been saying recently and just the excitement of some of our other friends that work over on the Xbox team. They've been excited on Twitter about it. Phil Spencer has been kind of interacting with some of the hardcore fans on Twitter, talking a little bit about it. They're confident. That's what I took from this. I truly believe they're very confident with the piece of hardware that they're putting out at the end of the year. And I truly think they're going to hit the specs that they promised. That Albert Pinello is another one who's been very confident, late in 2016, just on Twitter talking about it as well. But I think they're very confident they're going to hit those specs of what they promised. They're probably going to use whatever latest AMD tech is going to come out, Vega or whatever it's going to be. But the price, I think Microsoft's going to take the L. And they're going to get this thing competitively priced. So not $350, Danny.
$399. I said $350, $399. I said that.
But I think $399 could be realistic. And look, I'm not trying to set myself up for this. I'm not. No. Listen. I'm not trying to set myself up for disappointment that if it winds up being $450 or $500 at E3, where it's like, oh man, I really thought it was going to be $399. But I think Microsoft sees this as an opportunity, to have the most powerful console on the market and to have it within a reasonable price point that basically when Black Friday comes around, anyone can go out and get it. I have this weird feeling now that they're going to do that. I really think they're going to do that because if you look at the roadmap, we'll probably have a spring showcase from them where Phil Spencer will kind of talk some high level things about Project Scorpio. They're going to have GDC, so they're going to definitely make sure that developers get these dev kits in their hands, and they're going to start talking about how the best way to squeeze the most power out of Project Scorpio, right? Then probably in May, they'll have the big reveal, the real name of it. They won't talk price yet, but they'll have the big reveal, all the tech specs, and they'll probably have some game demos, etc., showing off. Like Gears of War 4 is a poster child for this thing. I'm telling you, whenever they unveil it, they're going to show Gears of War 4 on Project Scorpio. And then at E3, they'll come out, show all the new games, the holiday lineup for Project Scorpio, and then they'll announce the price. So I think that's what we're looking at.
But see, when I say it, people call me crazy. And now Paris said, yeah, but you know what? Paris is right. A lot of people are going to say that. I know that.
Well, it's because Paris tries to back it with some significant fact. You're just like, trust me.
No. I said that. No. Hold on. The reason why I said that was because it just makes sense when, how I say it, I think that Microsoft needs one of those like Sony PlayStation 4 moment. They don't have that yet, and I think by Microsoft announcing the right price, the right games, and at the same time market this as the most powerful console out there for $399, it's people are gonna be talking about this, man. I think by them announcing it as okay, this console is gonna be $499, I just visually I can't see it. I don't see why people are gonna be excited about that. But saying $399 is going to create a buzz. It's going to create headlines, and a lot of people are going to be talking about it, man.
Here's the other part of it, Danny. The other reason I'm saying this is the PlayStation 4 Pro. Sony will most likely have that thing at retail for $350 next holiday, right? So you can't, if Microsoft wants Scorpio to truly stand out, they don't want the whole, we need to justify $100 price difference again. I don't think they want to do that. I think if they say ours is $400, theirs is $350, they can justify that to consumers. But if theirs is $450 or above and the Pro is $350 or lower, now you got to start justifying why I should go pick up Project Scorpio, because just saying it's native 4K isn't going to be enough. When Sony can say, hey, ours is checkerboard 4K and you can't tell the difference and we're $150 cheaper. Consumers are going to go towards that. Hey, look, especially after the NPD numbers and all that have come out about how many PlayStations sold over this holiday, they have to close that price gap. They have to. They cannot have 2013 all over again, where it was $100 difference between the two, and the average consumer is not necessarily understanding the power difference between the two consoles. And I'll say another trick that Microsoft will have up their sleeve is going to be VR, because their VR solution, because we always just naturally assume, oh, they're just going to use Oculus. We don't know that. We don't necessarily know that, right? So whatever solution they use for VR, it is going to be a generation above what we're currently seeing right now. And I think that's a big look. That might be the thing that gets me interested into actually purchasing a VR, because like I said, I don't want the 1.0 product for VR. So PlayStation VR is out for me. Oculus currently and Vive are out for me. I want to see what's next. So Microsoft has this golden opportunity right now to show us what's next for VR when it comes to Project Scorpio. Not to mention Xbox Anywhere with the Windows 10 integration, just all that stuff. Hey, and the sneaky thing, and I shout out to Phoenix because he's the one that brought this up in a private conversation we had, Danny.
But you're putting it out there. But you're putting it out. I know, right?
Yeah, he brought up Beam, the whole Beam thing. You know, they acquired Beam and they're starting to integrate this in. Beam's going to be a factor here, you know, by the end of the year. And that could be another thing when it comes to just streaming content, streaming gaming content, etc. Because you can already see Microsoft could use Beam. So I could have my current PC right now. They could use Beam to stream to the Xbox One S or to Project Scorpio, your PC games. Things like that. You know what I mean? Your VR experience. Power it on your PC in your office, but then stream that VR experience to Project Scorpio to your home. Your home. Damn, I cannot talk. It's early and it's been 3 weeks, but to your living room television.
But why stream it to your TV if you've got the headset on?
What do you mean?
But what's the point of streaming the content that's on your headset, on your VR headset experience to the TV if you're in a headset and you can't see?
Oh, you're right. I'm an idiot. No, don't listen to me. I don't know nothing.
Like, you're right. I'm vibing with what you're saying, and I'm like, wait a minute, why would you want to stream it to your TV if you've got this headset? You can't see anything in front of you anyways, other than what you have on your.
No, but at least if it's something different, like a new feature that's only exclusive to that, maybe that will work. But yeah, it's true what Pete said. Like,
no, you're right. You're right. Look, I ain't even think. I was like, yeah, you ain't looking at it on the television. It's a headset. Does that matter? Unless it's a thing of, again, bringing the Xbox One S into it. Unless it's a thing of Microsoft leverages, hey, you don't have Project Scorpio because you have a PC that you play your games on, but you want to experience VR and you want, I don't know, you want to be able to do it not in your office, out in a big living room setting. Maybe it streams to Xbox One S, but then you use the headset. I don't know. I'm making up as I talk, so I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Okay.
So what I wanted to talk about is the happenings over at CES. CES wraps up as we're recording. Today's the last day, January 8th. But yesterday, at the AMD booth, that they were featuring the Ryzen CPU and Vega GPU architectures, they mentioned Xbox Scorpio in their video stuff. And there's a picture that's been going around the internet. This got this off of WCCF Tech just this morning. What does that mean? We already know that AMD is working with Microsoft on the hardware. We know PS4 has already gone all in with Polaris as their GPU. With AMD prominently displaying Xbox Scorpio and 4K gaming at their booth, at their Ryzen Vega booth, right? Not just the regular AMD, but the CPU and GPU architecture booth. They're talking about, and they've got it on their video stuff, Xbox Scorpio. Does this mean that we've got a decision and that they're going with Zen as their CPU and Vega as their GPU?
Yes.
Now
it just makes sense, right? They're going to use a custom variant of that in their SoC.
So here's the thing. AMD's been experimenting with this thing called Raven Ridge APU, which integrates Ryzen and Vega into a single chip. And I was reading about this over the weekend on Tweaktown. If that's the case, it fits the 14 nanometer size that they've been talking about. It's going to be in Scorpio. And if you can fit both Zen and especially Vega, which is going to be their powerhouse video chip moving forward, that's almost a no-brainer. Now, considering that it's January now, and AMD's experimenting still, but it's on the roadmap for a 2017 release, I think it goes to say that Scorpio is probably going to use Raven Ridge as a combined, I'm assuming that's what you call an APU at that point, right? Because it's CPU and GPU merged into one. You get the small size. You don't have to worry about additional. You'll probably have to worry about cooling, but the size of, you don't have to accommodate both the CPU and GPU stuff inside the box. I think this is a good opportunity for, if this is what happens, again, speculation town, seating for one right here. If this is what they're doing, I think this is a great opportunity for Microsoft if this is what they're doing. Thoughts?
Well, I think that's all going to start to get unveiled probably in March, between whatever showcase Xbox does and GDC. They're going to start talking about that, and then definitely by May. And that's the crazy thing when you think about this. All this stuff is about to go down pretty quick. Yeah. We're really going to start to get all these tech specs. We're going to start to, like I said, we're going to know price, we're going to know games, etc. very quickly with Project Scorpio. So just from a nerd standpoint, from a tech geek standpoint, I'm excited to see what this thing's going to be. I really am. I want to see what kind of tech that they're going to do, like they said, to get true 4K native gaming out of Project Scorpio, and at what level are they going to do it? Like I said, are we going to hit 60 frames per second with this thing? Are we going to see PC type ultra to high settings with this thing? That's the big question, and like I said, we'll probably start seeing that stuff in May, when they're ready to actually start showing game demos of these things. But even before then at GDC, you're going to start hearing developers talk about this. So just pay attention to GDC and the days after GDC, and just follow your favorite developers on Twitter, because they're going to start talking about this, because Microsoft's going to truly start unveiling it.
All right. So anything else, guys?
Yeah. Another thing that piqued my interest at CES was NVIDIA showing off, and I'm doing air quotes here, the new NVIDIA Shield. It's not necessarily new under the hood. It's exactly the same as the previous NVIDIA Shield. But what NVIDIA plans to do with it has me kind of excited, in that it's truly going to be a 4K HDR box for streaming from various apps like YouTube and their own NVIDIA Game Stream app. But they're adding a Steam app to the NVIDIA Shield to basically make it a Steam Link. And the difference between the current Steam Link and what NVIDIA is going to do with the Shield is it's going to be able to stream 4K HDR to your television from your PC. So I'm excited to see that. So basically, I'll be able, just Witcher 3, for example, play The Witcher 3 out in my living room in 4K via streaming. I won't need a box out there, which kind of... Oh, and the other thing is, it's also going to have UWP streaming support. So think Gears of War 4. And they actually even mentioned specifically Gears of War 4. If you go to their website and read some of the material there, that I'll be able to stream Gears of War 4 from my PC to my living room television in 4K as well. So that has me excited. Now, this whole cloud computing game stream that they're going to do, which also will support 4K streaming, is just way too expensive. They're talking $25 for 20 hours of gameplay. That's ridiculous. That's basically PlayStation Now. That's too much. Yeah, it's way too much. So I don't see that catching on, because if you add up the price, the numbers, you might as well just go build your own PC at that point. What's the difference? You know what I mean? It's just way too expensive. So I see this just being a check mark box for NVIDIA to say, hey, we're able to do this. But people aren't going to really adopt that at all. And I know Ubisoft is actually going to be a big partner in that, because I know they were prominently displaying Watch Dogs 2. And I believe they talked about Ghost Recon as well, being a game that would take advantage of this. But the point I'm trying to make of this is, if you already have a Shield, all of this is going to come to you via software update here in the next couple of weeks. Oh, not to mention the whole Google Assistant, Google Home is going to be built into the Shield as well. And I know they have a new controller that'll take advantage of this, because you won't have to like press a button. You can just say, hey, Google, and it'll hear you and do all kind of stuff. So it's interesting. Look, I already have a Shield. So I was like, look, I'm glad I got a Shield, because this is exactly the type of stuff I wanted to see from them. So what about you, Pete?
I have a Shield TV. It's actually featured prominently. I cut cable over the holiday break, and I'm no longer on there. It's smaller than the existing one, because I think they took out the SD card.
Yeah.
But it's just, other than that, it's the same hardware specs on the inside. So I'm okay with that. I like the new controller. I like that it's a little bit smaller, because the original one is kind of bulky. My concern, though, is the regular remote, not the game controller, but the remote that comes with it, isn't chargeable anymore.
I know. I don't like that.
And it comes, it's only got and I think what they said is it's got 1 year of battery life. And they took out the headset jack. So now you can't plug in the headset, you can't plug in an ear, like headphones or whatever to the remote and just watch TV on the couch. Now you have to figure out another solution for that, and either use the controller if possible. I just don't know.
Can you use the original controller on that? You think that is compatible? Will work?
Yeah, because you could just pair it. You could just pair it. Again, under the hood, it's exactly the same, because I could go get the new controller and use it on my current Shield. See, I think to kind of sum up what Pete is saying, if you can, get the current Shield. I think the current Shield is actually the better buy than getting the new one, because like you said, they're kind of stripping out a couple features. Yeah, it's smaller. It's not like the current Shield is that big anyways, but they're actually stripping out some features that are useful, and they're charging you the same. So I would say, if you can get the current Shield, which you can probably find at a discount anyways, I'd go get that versus getting this one. Oh, and the other thing with that remote, that not the controller, but the remote, the current one is metal. The new one's just plastic. I don't like that either.
All right. So that's about it. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah. I think that.
All right.
It's great. I think it's a great opportunity for our first episode of 2017. Good stuff.
Of course, and plus the exclusive from all the way from France. You guys did your thing, man. So it's good. It's good. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it/gamertag and listen to our past episodes. Also, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and all that other podcast directories places. So subscribe, listen to the show, and spread the word.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
And one more thing, the screening of The Messengers is happening next month in Orlando on February 24th at 7 p.m. So I'm also going to have an opening keynote early that day. So if you guys would like to attend for free, hit me up, Godfrey@gamertagradio.com, and you can hang out with us and everything. And maybe I'll have some cool shirts for you guys. Just hit us up and we'll make it happen. All right. Hit me up as soon as possible, because right now it's between 40 to 50 people already that are attending with us. So let's make it happen. All right. And at the same time, we'll celebrate our 12th anniversary of Gamer Tag Radio. We'll celebrate together with there, man. So anything else, guys, before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it.
All
right. Until next time. See you this Thursday. We have another interview coming up. So that's going to be good. And I'm pretty pumped about this Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo, please surprise us. Don't mess up. Like the last revealed, that was a pretty bad press conference. Wii U revealed, remember that during E3 a couple years ago? Ugh. That was bad. All right, until next time, we're out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.